Hi, everyone. I wanted to give you a quick summary of the class activity, the Ethics 101 survey. First of all, thanks for completing the survey. In addition to these two multiple choice questions, we just asked a couple other questions. Why you take, what do you hope to learn from the class, and why are you taking this class during the winter term? I'm going to pass on your responses to why you're taking the class the winter term to the university administration, because they were just, it was all over the place in terms of some of you wanted to get ahead, some of you wanted to catch up, some of you, I think I pretty much convinced you because I've known you to take the class. So I appreciate you doing that. Many of you just apparently have nothing better to do with your lives than to take an online healthcare ethics class over the winter break, or at least the academic winter break. And so I'm glad you're doing it. And I'll just sort of say, I hope that there are 10 classes, different classes offered at USI during this winter term. My hope, because I'm helping to sort of drive this initiative throughout the university, is this number doubles or triples a year from now. So anyway, appreciate that. Let me talk a little bit about this. And the reason I'm giving you a little bit of a summary, my take on this, is because all of the class activity stuff really could show up and probably will show up in some capacity on an exam. So I want you to at least hear my thoughts from it. Here's the results to these two seemingly very basic questions. Really nothing to do with healthcare, but it has to do with one particular very important concept and issue in this course and many other ethics courses. So the first question, you can see the question pretty standard and the potential responses, and almost in just a huge majority suggested that you would take this $200 of cash, this is $200 of cash, and leave it with the barista. Now, what I think is more interesting is that none of you out of the 24 chose to ignore the money. Now, this is on the floor of the restroom. So we know that just from where it's located, someone, dropped it, or it fell out of a purse or something like that. Nobody purposely leaves money there. It was a patron. We don't know how long it's been there. But you don't have a lot of time to think about this. What I think is also interesting is nobody chose to take it, put it in their pocket, and keep it, or even keep some of it. Now, that wasn't a potential response. So the question is, why? Why is it just because this is the right thing to put down, especially in an ethics class? Now, I don't know who chose what. This is obviously, and this is a very unscientific survey. But I can think of maybe one issue where that maybe summarizes the first two responses. Let me go back to it and talk about the second example, which is a little bit more a little bit more involved. Obviously, there's a man yelling and bumping a woman who looks nervous. It's a Saturday morning in a park. What would you do? And I think in some way, shape, or form, either a majority who chose to let authorities know either right away or soon afterwards. Very interesting that nobody just would keep walking. But a large majority would confront the man, tell him to stop yelling at the woman. Now, you are not in either of these situations. And let's just focus on the second one. You're not in this situation. We're not exactly sure what we would do in the time. My sense is, if one of the issues in the second example changed, let's say you knew the woman very well. Let's say she was your cousin. That would change probably everybody's perspective. Let's say you knew the man very well. He was your cousin. And I'm just sort of making up that family relationship. You would probably, everyone would change their response. And my guess is to intervene in some way, shape, or form. But I want to focus on why there were zeros here. Zeros here. And what I'm going to say is these examples really, wow, oh my gosh, that was a little bit strange. Okay, let me go back to this. These examples really have to do with conflict. And in the first example, 91.6% said, okay, this is the right thing to do. Take the money to the barista, take the money to the counter as well. Again, we're talking about cash. We're not talking about a piece of jewelry, or let's say a phone or something. We're talking about cash, but it also avoids conflict. Conflict avoidance. Here, in the second example, individuals, especially the first group, they are entering into conflict right away in terms of confronting the man. Even if it's a scaled down version, they're entering into conflict. You know that ahead of time. Now, perhaps there's a sense that this is a lot more serious. Obviously, it says the woman looks nervous. Naturally, we, though, are conflict avoiders. And I think a big part of the 4 themes, ethics themes in this course, are all about conflict. When it comes to any of the issues, the racist patient or whatever else. So this is really about becoming somewhat comfortable, if I can say, with conflict. When it could be a small scale conflict or large scale, as opposed to avoiding it. Now, these examples, fictitious perhaps, but we will see these 2 examples much more so than any of the examples, any of the cases that we will discuss in our course, even if you are a full-fledged healthcare professional, because most of the time, there isn't conflict in healthcare. The issue, though, is when it occurs, it can be not only unavoidable, but also unsolvable. So we have to be able to manage the conflict. And this is really about managing it and not running away from it. Although I will tell you, if I see conflict coming, I am going to try and sprint in the opposite direction or ignore it. And which maybe is the right answer sometimes, but sometimes it's not. Okay, so I wanted to give you a summary just of this, and maybe have you think about the responses, but always think about it in terms of conflict. All right, thanks very much for completing this survey, folks. Appreciate it.